Hello Werewolf Army, this is Jaden from Jaden's Videos, back with another Wolfman review, and this Wolfman review is on the Pose and Stay skeleton, which I got as a part of my giant Halloween 2017 haul number 2. I've been wanting to get this prop ever since it was released quite a few years ago. I believe it was 2014 that they first sold these Pose and Stay skeletons, either 2014 or 2015. But I've been wanting to get one ever since they were released because they are definitely very, very cool, and they are great for they're just classic skeletons, and we don't get very many classic skeleton props. I know we get a lot of skeletons, but we don't really get very many just classic skeletons, just a plain skeleton. An animated, just plain skeleton that looks like this and just talked would definitely be very cool. I know we got Bony Tony last year, but more of those would definitely be cool. Anyways, the one reason that I got this year in particular is because most of you already know the theme for this year's Haunt Nightmare House 2017, The Seas, so it's pirate themed this year. I am making a scene. Of course, there's going to be a lot of pirates, and a lot of them are going to be skeleton pirates. There might be some human pirates, but a lot of them are going to be skeleton pirates. But I am making a scene based off of the shipwreck scene in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Walt Disney World in Orlando, in Disneyland, in Anaheim, California. Orlando, Florida, and Anaheim, California. But if you've never been on the ride, it's pretty much just a scene that you go past while you're riding the ride, and it's a pirate skeleton that's at the helm of the ship, and it's clearly lifeless, but it's steering the ship, and the only thing that's making it steer the ship is the wind, which is very cool. The wind is just blowing up against like its skeleton hands, and it's making it steer the ship, and it's a very cool idea, and it's very, very creepy. But I wanted to recreate that for the haunt this year, so I needed a Pose and Stay skeleton for that, and that is why there's going to be a whole scene called the shipwreck. Like I said, I needed a Pose and Stay skeleton for that, so I got this one. This is at CVS for $40, which is the cheapest place to get a Pose and Stay skeleton for sure, so I recommend you get it at CVS if you're planning on getting one, because, like I just said, CVS is the cheapest place to get one, because it's only $40 there. Which is great, because it is a very good price for this, especially compared to other places that have it for around $50, $60. Michael's even has it for $80, which I think is pretty ridiculous, since other places have it for cheaper. Nothing against Michael's, because I do like Michael's a lot in their Halloween selections, but they usually have quite pricey stuff. But anyways, here he is, and the reason I made a review on him today is, one, I had to make a review on him eventually, and two, I'm planning on making the shipwreck scene today. I'm planning on starting it, but I'm going to have him at the helm of the ship, and I'm going to get a reindeer motor to have the spinning helm. But anyways, to the prop itself, this is 3 minutes in the video, and I haven't even really talked about the prop itself. It looks awesome. Of course, most of you probably already know or have seen a Pose and Stay skeleton in person or know what they look like, but really, it's just awesome. It looks very, very cool, very realistic skeleton, very creepy too. A nice, creepy skull you've got there. Sparky's coming up behind me, don't mind that. But a very nice and creepy skull that you've got there on this prop with all the cracks in it. It definitely looks very cool. The mouth can be posed open, but it doesn't stay like that, so I'm definitely probably going to have to use glue or something, because I wanted the mouth to be open, because in the ride at Disney, the mouth is like hanging open, and that's what gives it more of that lifeless feel, because when you're dead, you're most likely not going to have your mouth closed if there's pretty much no life in the corpse. It's most likely going to be hanging open, so I'm going to have to try to find a way to do that. Probably use glue or something. I wish they would have made it so I can stay open, though. You've got the neck right here, which looks very cool, like a real skeleton neck, and then the spine, of course, which you can't see from this angle, but that's fine, because it looks like the neck, of course. The rib cage looks very cool and has quite a bit of detail on it, which I really do enjoy. Then you've got the long skeleton arms, which look awesome, and then you've got the hands, which I do think look really neat as well. And you've got the legs, there's the pelvis area right there. I definitely do really like the whole shape and structure of this prop. It's very, very cool. and it looks like a real skeleton, which I really enjoy. And then down here you've got the feet, which are rather small. I'm not really 100% sure why they're so small. I do have another pose and stay skeleton, actually. I didn't mention this at the beginning of the review, but if you were subscribed to me last year, you know that I have the werewolf pose and stay skeleton, but this is my first normal pose and stay skeleton. I'm also planning on picking up a few more of these pose and stay skeletons this year, because I need a few for the haunt and all the different pirate skeletons that I'm going to have, and this is honestly the easiest way to make a pirate skeleton prop, or just really any type of skeleton prop, is just to buy the skeleton and then just dress it up. It's honestly the best way to do that. I know they can be a little pricey. $40 is kind of expensive, but really if you have a coupon or whatever, or if you get them when they're on clearance, I know CVS stuff goes on clearance quite early. They're doing sales currently, actually, if you're a rewards member, but so it's not that bad if you include coupons and stuff like that. But anyways, it is a very cool prop, as you saw. There are quite a lot of different points of articulation since it is a pose and stay skeleton, and it can also hang if you want it to hang. I don't know why you would want that. You could just buy a hanging skeleton if you'd want it to hang. Most likely if you're buying a pose and stay skeleton, it's because you want to put it in a specific pose, but it does still have that option to hang. The head can rotate 360 degrees, which is great. You can do some kind of like cool scene where maybe it's like looking behind its back at something. These are just great for, you could have it by itself if you want it by itself. But really, I think that these are just great to make scenes with, and really cool Halloween scenes with these guys are very possible, for sure, because they're skeletons and you can put them in pretty much any pose you want. And if you buy a lot of these, I'm pretty sure you can probably make a really cool scene with all of them together, maybe sitting at a table or something, drinking blood, I don't know. It would just be very cool. The arms can also move a lot. I'm not sure, not 360, but they can move up to there, which is great. A lot of articulation in the arms. The elbow can bend quite a bit. And then the wrist can move, not much, but it does move a bit. And the legs can move like that, of course. And then the parts that lock into place are down here. And those are the knees. These lock into place. As you can hear, that it makes that noise when they lock into place. So that's those. And then the feet do not lock into place, but they are very well secured, and they can be posed as well. My issue with this, and I know, oh shoot, I know that they sell pose and stay skeleton stands in case you want to stand it up, but really it's called a pose and stay skeleton, and on the box, on some of the boxes of them, so not all stores that sell them have it on the box, but on some of the boxes in some of the stores that sell them, you can see it like standing up, and it is not capable of doing that unless you lean it up against something, and even if you do that, it is most likely going to fall down. I experienced that so many times with my werewolf pose and stay skeleton, and I didn't really have anywhere to sit it in my room, so I just took it out of my room, and I'm probably just going to put it somewhere else in the house for Halloween. But really, that's a main complaint with these guys, that they are not able to stand on their own, because when you buy them and you see them standing on the box, you're going to assume that they're able to stand. Also, they're called pose and stay skeletons, so it just seems like they would be able to stand and not only sit. But really, unless you buy the pose and stay skeleton stand or rig a stand or something like that, there's really no way to get these guys to stand up, and their only option is to sit. I am going to stand it up though, but I'm just going to hold it up so it doesn't fall, just so you can see how tall it is. I don't know why they're so short, but they are rather short. They are about 4 feet tall, I would say. I don't know why, but they are. And this is the top of my head, and you can definitely see it is much shorter than me. So I don't know, like I said, I don't know why they're so short, but I guess it doesn't really matter, because a lot of the times you will have them sitting down, and if you do have them standing up, just kind of put them at a distance away from people so no one will be able to tell how short they are. But I suppose a reason why they're so short is because most likely you're going to sit them down. Still, if you have a stand for them, I would think that they should be, oh shoot, I would think that they should be a little bit taller, so that that works out well. I'm probably gonna rig a stand and make my own stand because I don't want to pay for a stand when I could just make my own. I'm just gonna make my own stand for the shipwreck scene, but other than that, definitely very cool. Those are definitely two big complaints with the pose and stay skeletons, but other than that, they are very cool. They're very neat. Just the whole concept of them is great. Just a classic Halloween skeleton, and really nothing much to it. But that's what makes it so cool, is because we don't really see very many skeletons that are just classic skeletons with really nothing much to them. And it just looks really awesome just seeing him sitting on a hay bale. It just gives such a Halloween feel. But on the Wolfman review rating scale, I'm going to give this 4 out of 5. Let's go 3.5 out of 5 claw marks. And that's not bad, but the only reason it's not too high of a rating, and it's like medium rating, it's higher than medium, but the only reason it's not like 4 or 5 or 4.5 or anything like that is because those are major issues that I have with it, is the fact that they advertise that it can stand when it really can't without a stand, and just how short it is. Those are two issues that I have with it, but really other than that, it is a cool prop, and I do still recommend that you pick it up, because even though there are issues with it, really, if you do certain things with it when you buy it, I mean, yeah, they're cool by themselves too, but most likely if you're going to buy this, you're going to probably dress it up like something, maybe rig it to make it taller or something like that. Really, the prop on itself, by itself, is still very cool and is still worth the price, but it's definitely more worth the price if you do something to it to make it better, like I'm going to. And if you use it for a specific reason. But if you just buy it for just a skeleton, still does its purpose, but don't expect it to stand. That's all I can say, is don't expect it to stand, because you're going to have trouble with that without a stand. I hope you all enjoyed though, and I do highly recommend that you pick this up. And like I said, if you are planning on getting one, I recommend you get it at CVS, because they are only $40 there, which from what I know is the cheapest place to get them. I believe I got mine for $20 with the rewards member thing. So that was even better. But really, they are the cheapest place to get pose and stay skeletons. So if you are really planning on getting one, I say go to CVS. If they're sold out at all your CVS stores, don't worry, because Target has them too. And they are, I believe, $40 there too, but Target doesn't really do very many coupons, I don't think. So they're not gonna, so you're most likely gonna get one cheaper at CVS. But still, Target has them too. So if you really want one, I just recommend you. Spirit Halloweens are actually a little bit different, and if you want the different ones, then yeah, you can get those. But really, talking about pose and stay skeletons in particular, because Spirit Halloween sells ones that are different, and I think they're a different company because they definitely look very different. Talking about the pose and stay skeletons in particular by Crazy Bones, CVS, Target, or I mean, you could get it from Michael's, but I don't recommend it since they're $80 at Michael's, and that's 2 times the price that you can get it for somewhere else. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I do highly recommend you pick up the Pose and Stay Skeleton, because it is a very awesome prop. Keep howling at the moon, my werewolves. Please comment, rate, and subscribe.